Good morning and welcome to Peace Out, where we are all learning together to peace out and we're maximizing those opportunities that we get every day, right? That's how I'm going to look at it. We're just going to maximize those opportunities. We're going to look at what comes at us and go, what a chance to trust God, right? What a chance to go, hey, I know He's got me, and He definitely does, right? Every single day. Today's not the day when I'm gonna wake up this morning and God go, okay, you're on your own. I just need a day off. Can I take a minute off? And to Him, a year's like a minute's like 1,000 years or something like that, right? So it's like He doesn't. Our time and God's timing are different, and yet He chooses to stoop, if I'll put it that way, to understand our time and how we deal with our stuff, right? I love that about God. But today's not going to be the day that He takes the day off. Today's not the day that He takes His peace back. We didn't get up this morning and mercies ran out overnight while we were sleeping. We have everything that God has to offer again today, over and over and over, day after day, minute after minute. He's not going to stop being present. I love that about God, right? So this morning, I was reading here, and I found this myself in 1 Corinthians 16, the last chapter. So Paul is finishing up this is the 1 Corinthians, which is technically the third letter to the Corinthians. If I understand, there were actually 4 of them, and we've got 2 of the final 2 that he sent, from what I understand. And but anyway, in 1 Corinthians 16, verse 13 says this. He's finishing up his letter, and he reminds the believers to do this. First thing he says in verse 16 is, watch. Be vigilant. Keep your eye out. Be aware of what's going on around you. Then he says, stand fast in the faith. Don't let faith go, right? We have faith. Keep our faith in God. We've got to keep our faith in God no matter what happens. Be brave. Be strong. And then he throws this in. This is actually the next verse. Let all that you do be done in love. And I was like, man, that's a lot for just 3 little lines here in my Bible. That's a lot to do, but it's not anything different than God said all along, right? We go back and look at the story of Joshua. We've talked about Joshua lately, right? And that was one of the things that God told him was, be strong, be courageous, be brave, because God, I'm going to go with you where you go. So we can be brave. We can watch. We want to watch. We want to guard our own souls. We want to guard our eyes, what we let come into our brains and what we let come into our souls. And we want to guard what we watch, what we set before us, because that's going to get into our heart and dictate our steps, right? Because everything comes from the heart. So we want to be watchful. We want to be aware of what's going on around us, because we want to guard and keep that peace. That's the way we're going to keep peace in our heart, is by guarding, right? We've got to set up that guard and say, no, I don't want to take that fear in here. If you feed yourself fear, you're going to be afraid. If you feed yourself terror, I don't know why anybody watches that anyway, you're going to have terror in your life and in your soul. Whatever you embrace, I don't want to get too preachy here, but whatever you embrace is what's going to become a part of you. So we want to be watchful about what we allow into our hearts, into our souls, into our minds, because what we allow in, this is going to be our next battle. We allow a lot of fear. If we focus on fear and think about fear, we're going to be fearful. So we want to be watchful. We want to be careful about what we're watching. We want to set our focus on God and His Word, right? So, and we can pull out all those scriptures. God's not given us the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. I taught that to my kids that was probably the first scripture they learned when they were little, when they'd have a nightmare or something, is that God's given you a spirit of power, love. God didn't give us fear. God's never going to give us fear, right? So we want to make sure that we guard our hearts from things that are going to try to steal that peace. Now, I love the story of Nehemiah. I'm still studying it out. I'm almost done with it, and then I'm going to start this. I've almost gone through the whole book. I have the last 2 chapters to go, and then I'm going to start the study guide. So that'll be coming out hopefully late this year, but I don't know. I'm working on a couple other projects too, but I love how the tenacity that Nehemiah shows. They came to him to try to make him afraid. They told him lies. He did not believe those lies. See, sometimes when we believe the lies, that's when we get messed up, right? When when the enemy's like, the world is gonna, the world is bad. Okay, I'm not saying the world is good, but when we get those thoughts of fear and dread, we need to go back to the word and remind ourselves that we've got peace, even if there is fear and dread out there. If we feed ourselves fear and dread, we're going to be fearful and dreadful. You're going to be dreadful, right? We want to feed ourselves on the word so that we have his peace when we need it. It never goes away. We always have it, but we forget because we get our focus off. And Nehemiah, it didn't matter what they told him, how they tried to scare him, how they tried to discourage him, how they had tried to talk him out of it. He just kept saying, I got a job to do. I'm going to stay on it. And that's the tenacity I want to have as a believer. Is I know it looks bad. I know it sounds bad. I know there's a lot of things going on in the world, and we do want to be aware of the world situation, but we don't have to live by its dictates. We can come back to the word right here because we belong to another kingdom. Colossians tells us that we're citizens of heaven. That supersedes citizenship in America, as much as I appreciate my citizenship in America, right? Our citizenship of heaven, the kingdom of heaven, being a natural born citizen of heaven through the blood of Christ, right? We can live by the dictates of the kingdom by this word and not be taken aside spiritually by what's going on in the world around us. So we can be brave, we can watch, we can stand fast in the faith and can keep coming back to what did God say? I know I feel this, but what did God say? I know I see that, but what did God say? I know this is going on and it looks bad, it feels bad, it hurts my heart, it hurts my eyes, it hurts my head, whatever, but what did God say? He has given us peace, period. He's not going to go, yeah, that got really bad, I'm taking everything back. He's just not going to do, that's not going to happen. We are going to have his mercies brand new for today, July 11th, 2025. I don't ever know what day it is, right? July 11th, Friday, July 11th. His mercies are just as fresh and just as new today as they were the day he said, let there be light. It has not weakened. It hasn't leaked out. He hasn't taken anything back. His peace still stands today, just as it's not any weaker. We can be stronger in it every single day. That's my goal, is to get stronger in that every single day and to be quicker about saying, I'm going to hold fast to what God has given me. I'm going to hold fast to what God has said, whether it's something he put in my heart or I read it in this word. I'm going to hold that. That's what I want to hold fast. That's what I want to stand fast in, stand strong and secure in the faith. Be brave. And sometimes being strong in faith and standing fast in our faith, it takes bravery and it takes courage and it takes strength. Nehemiah fought. I don't think building the wall was the hard part. The hard part was fighting the people that were coming and standing against what was coming against him through the people. Sanballat, Tobiah, those guys always coming, trying to discourage him and get him down off that wall. Don't get off the wall today, y'all. Stay on the wall. Today is another day God has given us. We have his peace, we have his mercy, we have his grace. He didn't take anything back, so we can watch. See, that doesn't mean we're going to just relax our guard and go, well, whatever then, since God has us covered. No, we want to watch. We want to guard our hearts, right? Proverbs tells us that. Guard your heart with all diligence, because from the abundance of the heart is where your mouth speaks, where your feet walk, where it determines the path of your life, basically. So we want to watch. We want to stand fast in that faith. And that does take being brave and being strong and doing all towards others with love. Now that could take some courage. Sometimes, have you seen some of them others? Did God see those others when he told us to do everything in love? Yeah, absolutely, because he saw us too, right? We're right up there with them. You guys, peace out. Stand strong. Stand in your peace. Stand in his love. Stand in his mercies and his grace for today. And I will see you bright and early Monday morning.